Hi, so you are here for the strongest Elite 4 in Kanto, so let's get straight into it. But before we begin, I must set the ground rule and the method I use to determine who is the toughest Elite 4 in Kanto. So I will only be considering Fire Red and Leaf Green because the original Red, Blue, Green and Yellow are all too broken and unstable of a game in my opinion. And the Let's Go series are just baby difficulty. So to make this more interesting, I'll go with the Gen 3 remakes. I will be looking at each Elite 4 members Pokemon from the moveset abilities and even hell items. I will also be mentioning how easy to counter the Pokemons and how hard it is to counter them. But this is all my opinion, so feel free to disagree, and with that out of the way, let's get straight to number 4. At the number 4 spot, we have the fighting type master Bruno. He first will send out his Onix, and there's 2 of them in this fight. But because of its terrible stats, the 2 Onix really is not a threat. On top of being 4 times weak to water and grass, it is very slow, so you really have a good shot at killing it before it can kill you. But beware, it still has the move Earthquake, which is a deadly move, and it is tapped. Next is his Hitmonchan, and here comes the problem. All 3 of his fighting moves are very powerful. If you don't kill it in one turn, then it will definitely knock you out the second it moves. Combined with its high physical stat, you're dead. But if you do have a strong flying Pokemon, then you have a great chance to fight because its physical defense is low and most birds are faster than Hitmonchan. So just use the move Aerial Ace to take it out. The same applies to him only. It has great attack stats but weak defense stat. And like I said, most birds are faster than it, so you can one-shot it with a physical flying move like Aerial Ace. Dodrio, Pidgeot and Golbat can do the trick, and plus, the Aerial Ace will be stacked, so it is stronger. Finally, we have his ace, which is a Machamp. This boy. He is slow, but that doesn't mean you can one-shot it, because unlike the 2 Hitmon, this thing has great defense stat, and this thing knows the move Bulk Up, which will raise its defense and attack. It's not looking good, and also it has the move Rock Tomb for coverage, to use it at your birds. I also should mention that Hitmonchan also has Rock Tomb, so be prepared. Then we have its one fighting move, the only move it has, and it has to be Cross Chop, a 100 base stat attack. And combined with its powerful stat, you're just one shot. Bruno overall is not hard if you have a well-made plan, just make sure your Pokemon are faster and he's not even a threat. On the number 3 spot, we have the Ice Specialist Lorelei. Lorelei is honestly not a hard one to fight, but keep in mind, all of her Pokemon has high defense stat, both physical and special, so even a powerful stat move from water or electric is unlikely to kill her Pokemon in one turn. Even though you are not weak to her Pokemon, but all of them have Ice Beam and Ice Punch. For Jinx, which is already a powerful move, but it is also a stat move. It also has a chance to freeze your Pokemon. It may be low, but it is never zero. Some moves that are worth noting is Dugong has Safeguard and Heal, Cloyster has Spikes and Protect, Slowbro has Yawn and Amnesia, Jinx has Attract and Lovely Kiss, and Lapras has Body Slam, and also Confuse Ray. Almost all of her Pokemon has Status move, which is not a good sign for you. Her ace also has a Strictest Berry to heal itself, and for some reason if you thought of fighting Lapras with a water type, you are wrong. Terribly wrong. Because it has Water Absorb abilities, which converts water attack into HP. I'm putting her higher than Bruno because there are multiple Pokemon that can counter her team, but by the second round your Pokemon will be dead, because her team will tank your super effective moves. When you cannot one-shot a Pokemon, then it becomes a gamble between who's gonna win the fight. And that's why I think Lorelei is the 3rd strongest. Let's move on to number 2. The Ghost Poison type Elite 4, Agatha. Okay, hear me out. All of her Pokemon are half poison, so you can just Earthquake them all, right? Wrong. You're terribly wrong. Hunter and her 2 Gengars all have Levitate. Like if you don't know, Levitate makes your Pokemon immune to ground type. What in the actual Arceus? That ability literally makes it immune to ground type, which would be the best option to use against poison. But then she has a Golbat, which is half flying, so again, ground is useless. The only Pokemon that you can use ground type on is Arbok, but it can still survive a round if I'm being honest here. Look at the stats. The only option you have is Dark move. You cannot use Ghost or Psychic because Gengar is super fast, and with one Shadow Punch, it will definitely destroy your Pokemon because of its stats. Some of her Pokemon has Toxic, Double Team, Dream Eater, Curse, Poison Fang, and even Nightmare. That's a crazy moveset, I'll tell you that much. There are some options, maybe they aren't much. You can use Eradicate, which will learn Crunch and is a normal type, so it is immune to Ghost type. But still, there are a lot of non-Ghost type moves like I mentioned before. But in all honesty, would you want Eradicate in your team just for this one fight? Yeah, it's a hard one. Since there are no Dark type in Gen 1, there are only Dark type moves which some Pokemon can learn like Bite or Crunch, and that is your only best bet. If you don't know, Curse will progressively decrease your health and so does Nightmare. But the difference is Nightmares only work when your Pokemon is asleep, where Hypnosis comes in handy for Gengar. And just like that, you don't have any stab move or anything to fight it back, and that's why I think she deserves the second place. And finally, the strongest Elite Four in Kanto. We all saw it coming. It is Lance. Okay, let me make it simple. Gyarados, high stat, yes, weak 4 times to electric but it has Hyper Beam, and it is fast. Dragonair, the first one has Safeguard and Outrage, which has a 120 base stat, plus it is stab. Next, Dragonair, same moveset but change Dragon Rage with Thunder Wave. It can paralyze you now. Oh, and I should mention that both Dragonair has Shed Skin ability, so it can heal itself if you put any conditions on them both. Next is Aerodactyl. High stat, Hyper Beam. Okay, this one is pretty easy though. Okay, back to a Nightmare. Dragonite, Outrage, Safeguard, Wing Attack, Hyper Beam. Look at that stat. Just look at it. How are you going to fight this beast? There are literally no counter to this beast. No ice Pokemon are fast enough, so Dragon type. No ice Pokemon are fast enough, and no Dragon type are strong enough to take it down. But there is one option, which is Articuno. You can use it to fight against Lance, but you have to get out of your way to get it because Dragonite makes the final Elite Four battle super duper hard and unbeatable that you have to resort to a legendary, which I think is not that fair. Also, all the Elite Four has 2 full restores, which I think is just Game Freak trolling us. So yeah, Dragon was OP back in Gen 3 and still is to be honest, so Lance being the toughest one to beat didn't really surprise me. You will have a hard time finishing off the Kanto Elite Four. This was really a well-made Elite Four and I respect it. But holy milk tank, this is such an overpowered Elite Four. But you know, back then the game was really broken and unstable. I cannot blame anyone. So there you have it, trainers. If we get 10 likes on this video, I'll continue this and make it a series. So yeah, subscribe and 10 likes, we'll meet again in Johto.